Hi there, Paul Harrington here, Osteopath. I'm today going to continue my little series on building resilience through cultivating like positive emotions in us. And today I'm going to share a little practice with you that I got from a book called Resilience by a lady called Linda Graham, and I'm really liking this book. It's got loads of really nice practical exercises to do. So this one is about remember. I'm going to talk you through it a little bit first, and then we'll do it. It's about, first of all, opening up the potential to feel positively about yourself, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but lots of people, especially in our culture now, actually don't think that highly of ourselves for some reason, me included. There's some sort of deep story that's been instilled which makes you think, oh yeah, I'm not very good, or I'm not very worthy of, or I'm a bit crap, or whatever, which is kind of weird. So that in itself is it's a contracting thing. It doesn't lend you to be feeling very open, or doesn't do much for your well-being, really. So actually practicing feeling a little bit of self-love, even though it feels weird, and it used to feel weird to me, didn't like doing it at all until I practiced it a bit, and then it becomes more familiar. And that's the point, really, is that all these little practices, by doing a little bit, and often it does start to change the way that the nervous system works. And so now the concept for me of feeling, good about myself, or you could call it self-love, starting to emerge, isn't such a weird thing. And I can see that it's a very basic foundation of what enables me, or could enable me more, to be more effective in the world. And because if I don't have that base for myself, then it's really hard to extend that to other people, and I suppose at the end of the day make the world a better place, which is kind of what we're after, or I'm after. So this little practice is about practicing self-love, but also the practice of feeling what it's like to connect in a positive way to another being. And what happens in us when we have that nice resonant connection with someone that we love or trust or care for in the most basic way. What it does, it fosters so it's not fosters, but chemically, if we want to speak about it like that, it initiates like a little surge of a hormone called oxytocin, which is one of the hormones which gives us that feeling of kind of love and connectedness and belonging, and that feeling of wanting to be with someone, or wanting to help someone, or the feeling you get when you're with or close to your loved pets or children or others, or all that stuff. And it's actually, there's a sort of a scientific basis to it, is what I'm saying. And when you practice these little things, of course, it enables the nervous system become familiar with initiating that little cascade of events, which ultimately mean that you feel much better. All these things are, they're sort of multi-layered and multi-dimensional. So the practice of loving yourself a bit more, and the practice of cherishing that feeling you get when you're with someone and noticing it, the conscious noticing of what it feels like is important, because that really encourages the nervous system to learn that for what it is, and it becomes like a reference point. And then the more you do it, the more able you are to do it in the future. It becomes more of a default thing to feel, which is a good thing, because we're talking about here is positive emotions, rather than, which are expansive, rather than negative emotions, which are contracting, which really, unless they're really, really appropriate, and often in our culture they're not, it's all sort of psychological fear and contracting. It's all relative. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to practice. So here's the practice. So the first thing to do is to get yourself into a little bit of a mindful state. There's nothing weird about that or difficult about that. All it means is just giving yourself a moment to stop and be present, really. Just relax a little bit, feeling the weight of your body on your stool or chair, wherever you're sitting. Just being aware of sounds for a moment around you. Just letting everything else go just for 5 minutes, so you can be here. Softening the breath. Just allowing the breath to come in and out, not trying to change it, just being with the experience. You can do this with eyes open or eyes closed. I'm going to keep mine open so that I can keep talking. When you feel settled, just bring one of your hands, whichever one feels most comfortable, and just placing it over the heart. Just take a moment to feel what that feels like. Whether there's a sense of warmth, a little bit of a connection. And trying to bring to that a sense of care, kindness to yourself. Let yourself off the hook just for a moment, just to be here with that. How you would feel about looking after someone else that you care about in the same way. Just thinking about yourself in the same way. And now, when you're ready, just bringing to mind just one moment where you felt loved and cherished and cared for by another being. So this needn't be a big deal, just a little moment, not the entire relationship, the whole thing, but just a moment where you felt connected. And it needn't be another human either, it could be a pet or another animal. That's the same thing. We're all mammals and we all share the same system in terms of connection through oxytocin and positive emotions. We all have that. Just noticing how that little memory sits in you. Just notice the feelings. Maybe warmth, a little bit of softening maybe. Maybe a sense of safety. Just keeping it in mind. Yeah. Okay, and when you're ready, just take your hand down and come to an end with that. So that's just a little thing, another little thing, another little practice, which you can do as many times as you like through the day. And the more you do it, the more familiar you become. And the easier it is to feel that stuff too, because you start being able to discern between different sort of layers of feeling and sensation and emotion. And the more you do that, the more sort of emotionally intelligent you become in a way. And yeah, and that starts to become a path that you can follow, which makes it much easier. It's like an exponential thing. The more you see, the more it opens up and the easier it becomes. Anyway, I hope that's an encouraging little practice for you to try. Thanks.